This is to further document the situation with the wetlands at Schoolhouse Brook in Mill Pond Park. This is the document that I'm standing in the floor of the wetlands. This can be evidenced by the cattails right there at the same elevation I'm standing on. And this is looking up the embankment. This is looking east. There's the morning sun on this day. It's documented by my cell phone timestamp. Tennis courts are, just for give an idea of where we are. There's the tennis courts, again looking east. This is the area that work has been already done. This can be evidenced by through here. You can see work that was done on the slope and on the embankment here. Important to note the profile of the slope and embankment there, which we'll look at closer. This is how the profile looked previous to the work being done. This is one mound that was not removed yet. And I'm holding the camera level here. It's higher than my head. Yes, part of it is mounded on the top of the embankment, but part of it is, I'd say it's probably split between half on the embankment and half pushed over the embankment. Now here's a perfect example of how deep this material goes. Here's a boring of some kind of an animal, maybe a muskrat, right at the edge now of the newly formed embankment. And you can see 5 feet down from the top, the material is all pure dust, screenings, clay, whatever you want to call it. This is the grayer material. This is very fine, so I'm not sure what it is. But again, I'm standing in the wetlands right here. This is the floor of the wetlands. This is about 1 foot up the embankment. This is the man-made embankment, man-made with the material that was dumped here. And this is how deep the material is in the ground. And it still goes down. You can see in the hole, it's just continuously the same material. So one of the mischaracterizations at the Conservation Commission meeting last night is that inches were removed. That's inaccurate. Let's just say that. So we're talking about, a mound here that's at least 4 to 5 feet, maybe even higher. It's all in here, the whole thing. I hope they don't do the same thing. I tried to make it clear that that was irresponsible action by their part. It's a huge mound right in here. Okay, so look at this profile. Look at this profile here, this mound, which is, you're only seeing a little bit of it because it's mostly grown over. I don't want to disturb it all. From here all the way down into the floor of the wetland where I was just standing, and then compare that to this profile to get an idea how the rest of it looked. Here's one area where a large amount was removed. Okay, so we heard it referred to last night at one of the meetings that inches were removed. That was from someone who had never been here, so I don't know where that information came from. But it was not inches, it was several feet in some places. It looks like 2 to 3 feet on the top. Again, you can see the profile here when compared to the previous view that we had when I first did the video. You can see the cut in the embankment here. This is about 1 foot deep here, but this profile didn't slope downwards here. It did not slope downwards. This profile had a curbing shape to it, and that prevented runoff. So the way it is now, more runoff will, or a concentrated runoff will be the effect here. Same thing all through here. This whole area was curbed up, banked up. Obviously they couldn't dig too close into these trees, but the material is still all in here. So I heard it referred to by the town engineer as a remediation. That's not remediation. That's not the definition of remediation. That's strictly a removal process. Then the material is still all here. You can see it clearly right here. It's several feet deep still right here. Again, their reasoning of getting seeds down for the planting season was a very weak reason. And so again here, this was a mound several feet high. You can see this is a hole going down here. That was one of the larger piles. This was a mound here that we stood on looking down into the wetland. Several feet at least a couple feet were removed here from the mound. I don't believe the town has anyone on staff that is capable of putting together a environmental remediation plan. And I could be wrong. I'll be searching that further, but this was something that should have been planned out before it was started. Again, to just say that it was necessary to get seeds in the ground when everything was actually stable the way that it was. I'm not buying it.